everybody, welcome to MUSE TV. It's Tuesday, June 1st, and what better way to start a new month than talking about movies and artwork and everything that we have going on. And right now we have one of the artists who's doing this amazing, who was commissioned to do this amazing poster for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, Orlando Arocena. How are you doing, man? It must be a good week and a good start of the month for you.
Hey, how you doing, Michael? Thank you so much, and hello, Muse TV. Thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, this is an astounding opportunity. Thank you so much.
I mean, I've looked over your artwork. I've been a fan of your artwork. I've seen everything that you've done. And I'm just like, this one is an amazing poster. Not only because
Hey,
this movie scared the you know what out of me, but
yeah.
the poster kind of does the same thing as well. And how did it all come about? How did you start working with Warner Brothers and to do the poster for The Conjuring?
Oh man, I'm represented by a fantastic group of friends and professionals called the Poster Posse out in California, and they represent me, and I get to play with a bunch of different studios, but in this particular instance, it was with Warner Brothers, which for me goes really, really way back. I used to actually work for Warner Brothers Studio Stores, a retail flagship over in 57th Street, Manhattan, New York City, and it's always a great opportunity, a great feeling to whenever Warner Brothers is like, hey, we'd like to get Mexi Funk or Orlando on the job, and I'm a big fan of the whole Conjuring world. I mean, I ended up doing the one sheet previously for La Llorona
Mhm.
with Michael Chavez, and I think from there, I think we hit a chord, and we would chat with each other on Instagram every now and then. And when I noticed that he was teaming up with James Wang for this third installment of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, I was just crossing my fingers. I was like, oh man, I hope they call me up again to play because I'd be all over it. I just totally want in. And sure enough, they came knocking on my door, and I couldn't say no. I mean, I'm a big horror fan, and a big fan of just the whole universe of The Conjuring.
Yeah. Well, I think since we are here and we're debuting this amazing poster, I think it's time to show the fans what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to try to capture the whole vibe, the whole mysterious vibe of The Devil Made Me Do It. And there were so many different types of visual representations and metaphors that I was like, kind of no pun intended, but conjuring up in my head. And I was like, you know what? I think the most diabolical way to show this would be literally, having the devil holding on to the party's hands and writing down, you know, kill, 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 but in Spanish.
Mhm.
So it's literally like the devil's taking control and driving this vessel, this person to do their bidding.
And the one thing I love about it is in the background, and when you read and it's the newspaper saying that the legal defense is the devil made me do it in Spanish.
Yeah.
And that was just like, and when after watching the movie, I was just like, oh wow, this is just, it's impactful. It's impactful. It really stands out and it really jumps out.
Hey, thanks. I mean, like I said, there are so many different ways to go about it, and actually teaming up with Warner Brothers and their team, they were like, "Hey, listen, this is the way that we're marketing the film. We'd like you to at least, pay attention to it, be cognizant, and try to bring it into your concept." And I was like, "Wow, that's a really big challenge because normally you don't want to bring in things like newspapers that have so much information." And in this instance, I was like, you know what? It'd be fantastic if I could show that the newspapers were part of the instruments that were being used for during this trial and during this whole kind of separation of that little town between the legal standpoint and just the actual townies, let's call them, people from the town that are like, what's really going on here. And I'm so happy that it came together and we had this opportunity.
Yeah, because that's the one thing. And then the hand, the demon hand that you use to hold the other hand, it's almost like a metaphor towards. It reminded me a lot of a Christian art
Hmm.
from back in the day,
With like the
except
two
in the
fingers being up
reverse.
like that, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
except for the reverse of that being like a demon holding the child's hand, which is just amazing to represent in a different type of style. How much of an influence did you have of art from the past to bring it into this type of poster?
Oh man, I'm a big fan of art history, and I'm a big fan of just horror movies, and it's always kind of a little bit stressful when you get invited to play with such talented cast and a lineage, a legacy of just so much information, and you're like, you want to make sure that you're doing something that hasn't been repeated or at least been touched on. And I was reviewing every damn old poster under the sun, and I was like, oh my, what do we do, what do we do? And I actually used to live up in Connecticut, and I actually went to two seminars of Ed of Lorraine Warren's kind of weekend seminars, and I actually got to meet her, got to talk to her before she passed away a few years ago. And it's elements like that of seeing actual footage during her seminar that I'm like, oh man, I need to grab this, and I had to go back into that like mental database, like, okay, how can I grab what I need to represent this film, but yet also be respectful to kind of the underlying direction that I've been receiving from the studio, from Warner Brothers. How do I put it all together? And um, watched the trailer over and over again. Did my research of looking at certain documentaries on the case, and um, it, it's it it just came together, man.
Awesome, awesome. And one thing, as we're wrapping everything up, I wanted to really touch upon your art. It is vector
Yeah.
illustration. How did you get started on it, and what was it about the style of art that you love tapping into?
Oh man, Vector is a very unforgiving program. It's not like Photoshop. So for all of you out there that have heard of Photoshop and the photo manipulation, some of the paintings that people do, it's very, very forgivable. You can smudge colors around. And in Vector, it's all math based, and you have to put points down and make shapes and close them off and make colors. And it's very, very kind of a tedious program that's it doesn't let you bend the rules.
Yeah.
And I've been playing with it since 1997, originally doing logos for a lot of some of the top global brands out there. And at the same time I was doing my own art, and I was like, I'd love to try to get this program that everyone's so terrified of within the advertising world into the way that I would normally paint my murals or paint my oil paintings. And it's taken quite a while, quite a while of me enjoying this video game. I actually look at it like a video game,
Yeah.
and every so often I get an instance like this project with Conjuring, where I'm like, oh man, I'm up against the big boss now. Am I gonna beat the big boss? Am I gonna get to the next level? And I try to have as much fun as possible, but yet push the medium.
Yeah. Exactly. And I've touched it back in the early days. And I was
Ooh.
like, I touched it and I was like, you know what? This, let me stick to, I'm a photographer. Let me stick to some Photoshop and Lightroom. I'm good because my art skills are not there, but your talent on vector and vector illustration is just amazing. I love your
Oh,
artwork.
thank you.
And definitely for the fans, like if you want to go in and actually learn more about his work, take a look at his profile, especially on LinkedIn, because he shows a great how he constructs his artwork, and it's amazing how you do it, man. But Orlando, great work.
Oh
This is
wow.
awesome. And thank you for giving us the opportunity and of being able to present this and be the debut of this poster. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Hey, well, thank you so much for inviting me on Muse, and having time to chat. And thank you so much for your support on my artwork, my vector work.
Definitely. And before we leave, how can people follow you and how can people follow your artwork? And especially because I know these posters will probably be available
Hmm.
for people to purchase. And if people want to purchase your Conjuring poster, because I know there's a big fan base out there, how can
Yeah.
they go about that?
With this particular instance, I believe that these posters will be part of the Warner Brothers you know, media play that they're doing. Don't know if they'll necessarily put it up for sale. They'll probably just have it downloadable somewhere. You know, don't take me to court on that one. But in general, I mainly post every other day on Instagram under Mexi Funk. You know, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then I'm also on Behance under Orlando Arocena. So that's basically it. And you know, just keep on pushing and seeing where else we got to play. I mean, I might be on TikTok next. Who knows?
Well, you got to do the social. It's part of this day and age that we got to be on social media and actually promote ourselves and stuff. But love your artwork. I really do believe for a lot of horror fans is this poster, the two different variations of this poster is going to be very big and very popular. So Orlando, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for talking with us. And we look forward to seeing you soon with some new stuff. And hopefully we'll stay in touch and be able to see some new artwork that comes out.
Hey, most definitely. Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem. Thank you.